Hi, everybody. Ashley Boyd with the Science of Intuition. This is Kim. Kim, can you tell us about yourself and what you do?
Yes, thank you so much for having me here today. All the work it is that I do centers around higher consciousness, which is living from the highest aspect of you more and more and more until that is who you become fully. So moving from living from the ego down into the heart, which is your portal to all that is, which is your portal also to that aspect of you. And so all of the services that I provide have that at the foundation of the work it is that I do. So if you want to go by titles, I'm a psychic medium, so I offer those readings. And I also do energy healing work. I practice both Reiki and also integrated energy therapy. So Reiki is pretty widely known. Integrated energy therapy is becoming more widely known. It works specifically with the angelic realm. And then I also do hypnosis. So I do both traditional and also metaphysical hypnosis. So traditional would be like, working with wanting to lose weight or working with anxiety. And metaphysical would be working with the higher self and working with a past life regression, for example. But I'm finding more and more the hypnosis work that I do incorporates a little bit of both in everything.
Absolutely. That's amazing. I think it's so cool that you do both because it, like you said, it totally marries with each other.
It does. And people are really open and receptive to it. I don't have to worry about where they are on their journey. Usually anybody who comes to me has some kind of receptivity to that kind of understanding or interest in that area. And most oftentimes it starts with connecting that person to their higher self. The higher self leads us through the journey and whatever it is that needs to be uncovered or healed or known. So yeah, it's working with the power of the mind, the subconscious mind. All the services that I do support one another. So readings help to bring you clarity, shift perspective, connect you to you in ways that you're not expecting. All of this work is connecting you to you. That's really the underlying foundation of what happens in each session. Then the energy healing works with the energy field and letting go of all that's no longer needed. And hypnosis working with the mind. So they all do the same thing in different ways, depending on what the person needs.
Absolutely. So how did you discover you had these abilities to serve people in this way?
Well, it's very interesting when you do this work because as you evolve as a person, and a practitioner, then your work is also going to evolve too, and the way it is you support people is going to evolve. And then the people it is that are going to come to you are also going to shift along the ways too, what their needs are. It'll be a vibrational match to what it is you are, how it is you're able to support them in new ways. So it's not like, it's kind of interesting. It's not like being a CPA where, you take the CPA test and you do accounting. Constant state of evolution because it's all work that deals with the soul. So I started sitting, I spent 15 years in the corporate world, in the entertainment industry, on the business side of it. And I started sitting in meditation more and more and more because as I did that, I was just receiving in a space of, just surrounded by divine love and an outpouring of love. And so I was motivated to sit in meditation more and more and more. I was really connecting to my soul. And it was through that my abilities started to unfold. So I started, and it happened very quickly for me because I guess it was just my time to step into this new level of awareness. And I literally went overnight, one day of experiencing life one way, and the next day I'm hearing my guidance.
Me too.
Yeah, hearing my guidance talk, so you know what I'm talking about.
12 hours, like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, for me it was a weekend too. And it was my guidance, and also loved ones were coming back to me, and I was picking up on their thoughts and emotions. So it was a lot to process in a very short period of time. It wasn't, you know, gradual. It was like overnight. And there I was in this whole new world, and, you know, place of understanding the world around me and also myself.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense shift, but it was like I went from this distraught feeling to an absolute like calm. It was like that calm before the storm, as people say, and I literally have been that way since. And I've never felt like that in my entire life, and it was literally like 12 hours.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just,
the soul is pretty magnificent. You know, what you're ready for, you get. It's nothing that the human side of us would ever anticipate or sign ourselves up for, typically, because it involves a whole new way of living and understanding life and letting go of that which is no longer in alignment. And so the human side of us doesn't really like that aspect of it. But yeah, that's the divinity of our soul and the magnificence in the way in which it works.
it's so true about learning to understand it and to like let go. And that's why the way I teach is the way I teach. I give people a tangible to grasp with science. So then they logically can just like chill their brain. And then all of a sudden, all these other things start coming through because they're able to let go of, I can't control this. Well, you can't, but here's some information that makes you think you can.
Yes, yes. And that's what we need. It's a whole new way of being. It's a whole new way of being. In fact, I just got out of a hypnosis session and my client said, I'm so surprised that I could connect with my higher self in that way because I'm so much in my head and there's so much chatter that I was sure that chatter was going to disrupt my experience. Well, you'd be surprised at what it is you can do. What it is you can do.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling, like what your central nervous system and your inner guidance system allows you to process. I mean, as functioning humans, we only use maybe 3 to 5% of the actual brain. And could you imagine if we unlocked even a quarter more? It would be insane.
Yeah, well, that's what this process is all about, right? I mean, it's about expansion and expanding the way we see things and understand things and moving into ultimately multidimensionality, and then everything goes haywire. It's not linear anymore, which is what the human side of us likes and feels comfortable with. And then it's like anything and everything goes because the universe is infinite, and so are we.
And I think that some people understand that, but they don't understand that. I think that's the biggest thing is that we have no control, and even though we like to think we do, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. And yeah, the human side of us, it's like we can get things conceptually, you know, it's like there's a concept that we understand, but it's another to experience it through it and understand it at that level so that it really becomes our truth and it's not just something that we've taken on that we've heard out there.
Right.
We experience it for ourselves.
Yeah, it's so true. Like how, like my scientific approach of like, you can understand this concept, so your brain can kind of just relax and simmer and go about its business. It like keeps it occupied over here, so then this other part can open up. It's very interesting on how that your brain works. And I know hypnosis is almost the same type of work, and I've done many sessions talking with a couple of different neuroscientists and psychiatrists about hypnosis. It's such a perplexing concept.
Yes, it is. And you know, it's very interesting as I hear you talk, because I also do a weekly radio show called Inspired Living Radio on the Own Times platform every Wednesdays. If you'd like to tune into that, the listening audience, it's at 3 p.m. Eastern. And it's all about metaphysics and creativity and inspiration, etc. But what I'm finding is more and more of our guests come from the scientific background. They're neurosurgeons, they're cardiologists, they're all these things. And they're coming out with books and practices and meditations and things that incorporate this aspect of the universe. It's not just so factual, but they're throwing in this kind of work too. So that the way it is they're able to serve others is comes from more comprehensive. Like, yeah.
Well, it's awesome because in the world of medicine, we never really associated the spiritual aspect of it. And that is the main component in my mind of how somebody can heal. And so it's been a very interesting process of interviewing people and just reaching out to others to see how they've gone about to incorporate things. And some people still practice medicine and some people do not. They practice incorporating the medical aspect into the spirituality, but it's coming to a head of where it has to be incorporated.
Yes, and we're seeing that more and more. And earlier this year, my father was diagnosed with cancer. That was a big life-changing experience for our family, as it is for all people. It's not ever something you anticipate. But that whole journey, things that included medicine and treatments and so forth, but that exposed me to the soul side of things. Sorry. Understanding why the soul brought that experience into your father's life. When you understand it from that perspective, it brings on a whole new meaning.
Oh, it does. I have goosebumps from that because it's so true. Like an experience, even good or bad, is supposed to be that way because it unlocks something else that's supposed to occur.
Yeah, it's all very divinely orchestrated by the soul to bring in whatever experiences are needed to bring things back into balance within oneself, to clear out different karmic timelines and all kinds of fascinating things. So, oftentimes people see an experience one way, in a very limited way, and when you incorporate the soul into it, it brings on a whole new meaning. And then you don't have to fear things as much. You're like, oh, this is divinely orchestrated by me for me.
Mm-hmm. That makes a very good point because I think a lot of people's initial objection is fear.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if you can understand that it's not controlled and be okay with that, then you're gonna go past into the next way that you can serve others the best. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really about, when they talk about surrendering, that's what this is. It's trusting and believing in that highest aspect of you. And I've talked about this before in some of the earlier work I've done. Moving past that threshold into a place of what we would perceive as uncertainty or the unknown. When you do that, you go beyond that threshold, you move into the unknown. Your higher self, your soul will always be waiting there for you to lead you through. And so that's what these experiences do for us. And your soul holds all the wisdom, all the answers it is you could ever want to know. And so it's going through enough of those experiences where we finally go, you know what? My soul does have my back. It always has, and it always will. And within me, I hold all it is that I could ever need, the highest levels of wisdom, the highest levels of peace and purity and divinity, and all of these things.
I love that. That was perfect. Kim, will you let people know where they can find you? Because I think your work is important. And not only that, the way you explain things is awesome.
Thank you so much. I'm passionate about the work I do. It was, I had to really let go of some old identities, right? Moving from the corporate world, transitioning full-time into this work. And so it's my life's purpose. And that's what I love. And so people can find me through my website at lovefirst.info. It's just lovefirst.info. You can connect with me on Inspired Living every Wednesdays. You can find me on Meetup. I'm teaching classes now, which I'm excited about. And every Fridays on my Facebook page, which is just Kim Thalken Love First, I'm doing what's called Aloha Freedom Fridays, where for the first half hour, we talk about different topics. It's spiritual / conscious conversation, Q&A, and I also do mini readings on my Facebook Live too. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about letting go of old identities.
Ooh, that's awesome.
You, yes.
That's amazing. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate all your knowledge. I think that your work is so important, and like I said, the way you explain things makes it very tangible for people to understand that they can have this amazing experience of life too.
It's available to all of us. We just don't understand that in the beginning, but the more you go
Mhm.
down this journey, the more you see for yourself, and then it becomes a way of life. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the work that you're doing and bringing this information to folks out there for them to be aware of too.
Thank you. I appreciate that.